So originally, the Nevada Caucus was supposed to use that same shadow app that Iowa used. But after that thing failed, they said, well, we're going to come up with our own app and use that. And I just was looking around trying to figure out what this new app is. And it's kind of a joke. First, I want to just point out that the precinct chair has to show up at 7:30 in the morning. They, the caucus, and the other volunteers all show up at 8. And they do get a lot of training. Everything I'm covering here is just on this one little section of their agenda. So first off, this is the math poster, they call it. It's just the actual paper worksheet that they record all the data on, and they will submit at the end of the caucus. And they're all given a iPad to also record the information on. This is the iPad that I heard that was running their new app. And okay, after they start it up, it takes them to a login screen where they put in their precinct number and then a secret passphrase. It's inside their folder, written down. And it says, well, if you entered in wrong, you can keep trying. Makes me wonder how many times they can keep trying. And it doesn't say anything about two-factor authentication or anything, so yeah. When they start the caucus, the temporary chair for the precinct introduces themselves, lets them know that they've gone through training, and they had to sign a pledge that they would be neutral, and, so all stuff that you would want out of the person running the caucus. But then they immediately say, but I'm just a temporary precinct chair, and we need to elect a permanent precinct chair. It only makes sense that the person that actually had the training would be the permanent one, but actually just whoever wants to, they can just replace them that day, right then, with no training. So then once they actually start the caucus, they need to count all the people there. And immediately I look at this, and on the iPad, that's just a Google form that they're recording the data on. And I thought, this is their app, the Google form? And the next screen is that's just a spreadsheet that they've embedded in a website. So their app is just directs them to a website with a spreadsheet on it. So I went ahead and created my own spreadsheet here, and a brand new Google form. And this is the Nevada Google form for reference. And go ahead and start plugging in information here. See if we can't make it, how close we can't make it look to the Nevada Google form. And how long it'll really take. Not that long. Okay, so now we finished off the header here. We need to go down and change this to a short answer. And we add in another like subheader, which is more instructions. And then what's the total number of people here at the caucus? And that's set to just be a number. We have to make it required. And here we go. Looks pretty close, really. And what did it take? Okay, so now went ahead and submitted 60, and that's in our form spreadsheet. I'm just going to go ahead and rename this just to Form 1, so it's easier. You got Form 1 and Sheet 1. And just go ahead and go over to the blank screen, or a blank sheet, and we'll bring up the spreadsheet that we're trying to emulate again, and just start plugging things in. See how close we can't get this. change the fill. Go ahead and put a nice border around. And then here, this will just reference back to the Form 1 sheet. I'll just pull that data right off of there. And we'll just go ahead and finish formatting this in. Enter in the rest of this data. We have to make where it'll actually calculate, which is just, just adding 44 and 60 for 104. Okay, let's go ahead and change that to white, center that up, and it looks pretty close. So now what we have to do is we have to publish this so we can put it on a website. And you go to embed, just want this sheet, and that'll give you some HTML code for an iframe. We're just going to go ahead and copy. When you submit the things on the form, it'll have a link to a website, and that's where it would take you to the next step. Now this is just a little free website sandbox. You can just plug in code and see exactly what it looks like. So I just went ahead and plugged it in that iframe, and there it is, just right there. Then I'll plug in all the rest of this text and a button, and this button would take you to the next website. But of course, this isn't another website, so it just references itself. But yeah, so that was pretty simple. It hasn't taken very long either. And then the next step, again, is just another embedded spreadsheet. All you'd have to do is just change some of the code there, and it would look just identical. Step 5, just another Google form. So again, that's pretty easy. I don't even know if Michael Bennett should be on there, should he? Didn't he drop out? Okay, and then just another spreadsheet. Again, we know how to do that. Easy. And another spreadsheet that's embedded. This one, some of the colors changed to green. That's, not very hard. And they go around. Next step is just actually getting the paper ballots from everyone, their preference sheets. Then you go back to the iPad and just another Google form. That's easy enough. And then here on step 10, another embedded spreadsheet. That's just the results from the Google form. Yep, we know how to do that. And then this is just the same thing as, so it's just a bunch of embedded spreadsheets. It's like all it is. It's just running off of one spreadsheet. So yeah, not very difficult. Makes me wonder how long they actually spent on this and how much they paid for it, because Google form and spreadsheet and stuff, that's all free to use. And then here's the best part, the recording, they still have to call in and actually tell them what the results are, because that Google spreadsheet probably isn't even secure. And then they have to take a photo with their phone and then text it. So just extra steps to do. It would be, this Caucus calculator is just more steps. And then even on the training video, they recommend that you double check the arithmetic on the Google calculator with your phone. So what's the point? I almost think that they promised everyone they were going to have this hot new app, and the shadow app was such a failure, but nobody apparently knows how to make an app, so they just kind of made this Google spreadsheet they just dressed it up and then started calling it an app when they really didn't know what they were doing. But at least they're calling, and they got the paper backups, so I mean, it shouldn't be such an unmitigated disaster as Iowa was. And then here's the best part, the recording, they recommend that you double check the arithmetic on the Google calculator with your phone. So what's the point? I almost think that they promised everyone they were going to have this hot new app, and the shadow app was such a failure, but nobody apparently knows how to make an app, so they just kind of made this Google spreadsheet But yeah, just not very impressive. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to another YouTube video that was made that actually shows how you can create a voting app just in a Microsoft product, and it's like super easy, and it just bundles everything together and submits it all at once, photo and everything. So that's kind of fun.